If you genuinely want this year to be the year that things change, that things improve, and that you reach the goals that you're looking to reach, that you have the life that you really truly want to live, we have to cut the BS with the New Year's resolutions. I feel like this is something that is just become ingrained into kind of the expectation of what to do when the new year comes around, is to set these New Year's resolutions. But if you are anything like me, then maybe you can resonate with every single year setting these different resolutions, or maybe even setting goals. And oftentimes it ends up being pretty much the same thing, the same resolutions, the same goals, year after year after year. So the months pass and life just kind of happens, and maybe we aren't actually being intentional with the resolutions or the goals that we set. And so the next year comes around, and whether it's having the dream job or some form of financial success or a weight loss or living the purpose, we just end up at the end of another year and life has passed us by and we're setting these same goals and resolutions all over again. So this video is not going to be about the traditional goal setting process or the traditional, New Year's resolution theme. And my intention, my hope is that this video, these steps are what will actually allow you to go into this new year with the clarity and the intention and the mindset that you need to make a lasting impact and actually achieve what you were looking to achieve in your life. So before I get into the steps in this process, a couple things that I think can really make this more enjoyable and more fun is, number one, to allow yourself to have fun with this. Allow this to be a fun and playful process and not just sitting down and writing out your goals. So put on some fun music, make it a ritual, make it something that is impactful to you. Maybe that's lighting candles, maybe it's lighting incense, or being in a space in your home that's really comfy or cozy and makes you feel good. Use some Palo Santo or sage and really clear the space and set the intention that this is going to be a process that really sets you up for achieving your best life in the next year. So whatever it is that makes you feel good, allow yourself to get into this really cozy, intentional, kind of ritualistic space before you get into this process. And have a journal ready. Like I said, put on some nice music, maybe grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and let's get started. So step one is to reflect. Reflection. Allow yourself to really take some time to think about this past year. Be really, really honest with what did work and what didn't work. And just be as honest as possible with yourself. No one else has to see this. No one else needs to know what your thoughts are on what did and didn't work, but you have to be honest with yourself if you are going to move forward in a way that is really honest and intentional. And we have to acknowledge what did and didn't work if we're going to make those changes moving forward. So what did and what did not work, any accomplishments, any really big wins for you in this past year, and at the same time, any challenges, or, I don't necessarily think of them as failures, but anything that maybe didn't work out the way that you had intended or the way that you had planned. Any lessons that were really big for you in this past year. So anything that, taught you something impactful for your life moving forward. And then finally, what you are grateful for. The things that you are thankful for, the people, the experiences, the lessons in this past year. Now that you have done step one and you have taken some of this time for reflection, it's going to be really helpful in this next step. So step number two is all about gaining clarity for your life moving forward. So the first step in this journaling activity around clarity is for you to get really, really clear about what it is that you want for your life. How do you want to live? Who do you want to be? What do you want to embody and feel and experience? And if it's hard for you to think of it in terms of what you want, and for some people it can be, we might not have a ton of clarity around that yet, you can also think about what you don't want. because sometimes we're even more clear about that. So what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want, what do you want to release? What do you want to let go of or no longer continue to repeat in your life? And this is something that can be really good to look back at the lessons from this past year and really think about, what are the things that keep happening to me? What are these either habits or experiences that kind of keep repeating that I'm really ready to move on from? What patterns, what situations, what habits, and what thoughts are you ready to fully let go of in this next year? And another question that you can ask yourself here is, how do you want to make a difference in the world? Like, how do you want to impact other people? And one of my favorite questions that I have finally gotten around to doing after being asked many times to do this activity is, think about yourself and you are 95 years old, and what do you want to be able to look back and see that you have experienced in your life? What do you want to see that you have done? How do you want to have made an impact for yourself, for your family, for other people in their lives? And looking back at 95 years old, if you have accomplished all of this, you would have lived your perfect life and you would be fulfilled and you would be happy knowing that you have made this kind of impact. So you can think of it that way. Think of yourself looking back on your life and really journal out this perfect life that you have lived and how grateful you are for it. And that can be a really, really powerful practice. So as you're going through this kind of clarity exercise of what you want your life to look like, what you don't want your life to look like, I really invite you to give yourself full permission here to be honest, to be authentic, to be yourself, and really stand in your truth and not worry about what other people are going to think. Because if you are truly going to achieve and live the life that is meant for you, you have to be able to be honest about it with yourself. That is the first step. And we have to let go of the societal expectations, the expectations of parents, of friends, of the world around us, and be honest about what we really want. So release the judgment, release the shame, and just be 100% real to you in this exercise. Another thing that I really want to mention here is that sometimes activities like this, they can be really, really exciting. And sometimes they can be maybe a little bit stressful or overwhelming if we feel like we haven't achieved what it is that we are looking for by a certain time. And so I just want to remind you that there is no timeline. It is never too late. You're not too old. It doesn't matter what other people have achieved. This is your timeline. This is your journey. And so let go of any stress or judgment that things haven't gotten to a certain place yet, and just allow yourself, again, to have fun, to enjoy this journey that you are on, and just trust in the divine timing. It is all happening the way that it is meant to. Another little bonus activity that I really, really highly, highly recommend in this activity of clarity, or in this section about clarity, is for you to get really clear on your values. This has been one of the most impactful things that I have done in the past year, is to hone in on my top 3 values. And in doing so, I didn't really realize how much of a difference this would make, but it has allowed me, anytime that I'm making a big decision in life, or any decision, even a small decision, when normally I would have been confused or kind of indecisive, it's really helped me to make a clear decision because I'm making that choice based on what I know my top values are. So what I invite you to do here is to get on your computer, get on your phone, and search a list of values. It's really easy. Just type in list of values. You'll find it quickly. And I want you to take some time to go through this list and start to narrow it down. So what you can maybe do is start by just circling any values that resonate with you. And then from there, maybe you do your top 10, and then you do your top 5. And then eventually I want you to get to your top 3 values in life right now. And I say right now because our values are not always going to be the same. I know, as a single woman who doesn't have any kids, my values right now are realistically very different from maybe one day when I have children, what my values are going to be. And so our values can change through different stages of life. So don't worry if your values shift and change. That's normal. That's part of the process. But it's important every once in a while to get clear on what they are in this moment, and that will support us in making choices moving forward. So, for example, I'll just share with you guys for myself, when I recently did this, my top values were connection and autonomy or freedom and harmony or peace. I kind of categorized them together there. But based on these values of connection and autonomy and harmony, recently when I had a really big decision to make, I was able to just compare like which of these choices is most in alignment with my top values, and it actually made the choice a lot easier. So I invite you to do this practice, and this will make your clarity around life in general so much easier. All right, so now that you have moved through this process of gaining some clarity, step number 3 is all about intention and goals. So really quickly, I just want to clarify, this can be a little confusing for some people, but what the difference actually is between goals and intentions. So intentions are more about a mindset. They're more about an inner state. And when you think of intentions, you can really think of the process, whereas goals are going to be more about the end result. Goals are more concrete, they're more achievable, and again, it is this very specific result that we are looking for. So an example here could be that maybe I have the intention of living a more healthy or active lifestyle. And my goal might be to run a marathon by the end of the year, right? So one of them is more mindset, more process. The other one is more of the achievable result. Another example could be that I have the intention to be more of a saver when it comes to my money, to have a more sustainable savings habit. And then the goal on that could be to save $10,000 by the end of 2024. So just a couple examples there of the difference between intentions and goals. So with this process, again, bring out your journal, flip to a new page, and I want you to start to think about first your intentions. So think about what you want to embody, and there's a couple different ways that you could go about doing this. You could think of one main intention for your year that you really want to focus on, or you could also put this into categories, right? So health, finances, relationships, career, personal enjoyment, or just fun. There's so many different things that you can focus on. So you can do a different intention for each category, or you can just have one main intention for the year. Write this down. And this is something that I really want you to look at multiple times a day. Remind yourself of your intention 2 to 3 times per day. So you could do this in the morning and at night. You could do this in the morning, in the middle of the day, and again at night. But reminding ourselves of our intentions is really helpful when it comes to being as intentional as possible with our life moving forward. And this will allow you to actually make a difference rather than just setting these resolutions at the beginning of the year, not really thinking about it after that. And then again, this cycle is on repeat year after year. So after you have decided your intentions, you can get clear on your goals. And again, these are the more actionable steps that are aligned with your intentions. And one thing I invite you to do when it comes to goals is to really go back to basics. A lot of times we tend to overcomplicate things, and just as an example, when it comes to health and wellness, like really it is the basics that are the most impactful, right? It's clean, healthy eating and getting movement every day that you enjoy and getting enough sleep and drinking water. Like, it doesn't have to be so complicated. So when you're thinking about these goals, I really do invite you to just go back to basics, keep it simple, and that is going to be more sustainable in the long run than making something super complicated and trying to have a million different goals. Okay, so moving on from the intentions and goals, step number 5 is daily habits. So what I invite you to do here is to look at your goals and start to think about some sustainable habits that you can do every single day that will get you closer to achieving those goals. So again, if your intention is to be living a healthier lifestyle and your goal is to, let's just say, like lose 10 pounds by the end of the year, then maybe one of your actionable steps could be to go on a walk every single day to try to get, at least 8,000 or 10,000 steps every single day. And so you can break this down into these actionable steps. And again, just keep it simple. Don't try to do all these crazy things at once. And honestly, more often than not, the small sustainable habits actually end up being more impactful than the big crazy changes that we make all at once. And one thing that is really, really helpful in this process of these daily habits is also to allow yourself to take on beliefs that these things are easy, that they are achievable, that you can do this and it doesn't have to be hard. So if one of your goals, for example, is to be exercising 5 days a week, then take on the belief that you love movement, that exercise is fun and enjoyable and easy to incorporate into your life. And so by taking on the belief systems that align with the goals and the intentions, it just makes it that much easier. So those are the 5 steps that really go beyond the traditional resolution and goal setting every single year. And these steps will allow you to just go so much further because you will have greater clarity. That clarity will allow you to make more intentional choices. You'll be reminding yourself of your intentions every day and why it is that you desire what it is that you desire. The action steps will be sustainable, that will match up to your goals. Like, the whole process just really sets you up for success in the best possible way. As one last bonus, so you can do this if you want, don't worry if you've done enough journaling by now, I totally understand, but this one can be really, really fun. And by the way, you do not have to do all of this at once. You can spread this out over a week and maybe do, one journaling activity every single day. So don't stress, don't feel like you have to do it all at once. But this final bonus activity, this final journaling exercise, is to journal about the most amazing thing that could happen to you this year. If this one thing happened, it would truly have a ripple effect on everything else in your life. Like, everything else would just be better for this thing happening. So I want you to write about this as if it is already happening, so in the present tense, or as if it already happened. And by getting into this mentality of, the present moment, it's already happening, it just allows you to embody that energy, embody that emotion, and that will really set it into motion and help you to manifest what it is that you desire. So I really hope that these ideas help you. Again, make it fun, put on some of your favorite music, maybe even make a playlist that has all of your favorite songs, and you can put it on while you journal through these activities. And then you'll also have that playlist moving forward. So every time you listen to those songs, it'll kind of get you into the energy of what it is that you're looking to shift and experience for this year. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this video has helped. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.